I'd like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting for April 28, 2021. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Lees.
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Dennis, I'm going to give you the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes. No, we do that as an honor.
Got my George Washington lapel pin on right here. Are you ready? Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Okay. Real quick, we're going to approve our agenda first. Is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
By Commissioner Lees, second by Commissioner Andrus. All in favor of approving the agenda before you and up on the screen, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that we are going to approve the agenda. Okay, before we move into our consent items, we have a special request from a resident for citizens' comments. Dennis, the podium is yours.
Nobody wants to be told they're wrong. Nobody wants to hear, "I told you so." But I was convinced when I came here a year ago that if I threw some common sense as to what was going on and what was being portrayed and why it was happening, I was convinced to open the pool last year. No doubt in my mind. Seems pretty obvious to me what's going on. Big problem, the only difference between what I said here last year and now is it's all factually backed up. Communist Chinese Party, press, Democratic Party, pushed this at us to push a political agenda. Political agenda. This came off the website this morning. All right? These are your new regulations for this year.
Our regulations? Is that what you mean?
Hatfield Aquatic Center.
Hatfield Aquatic Center.
Point of order, question. Do I have, as a borough resident, Dennis Clay, 117 North Market Street in the borough, do I have political representation here?
Live in the borough?
I do.
Dennis, I'm going to be remarkably gracious to you right now. Answer is, township residents are the only folks who are permitted to speak because we are representative of the township only. And so I'm going to be remarkably gracious to you, but I'm fairly confident that a number of people in the crowd would prefer that I not. So
Well,
why
I
don't
could
we
care
jump?
less, but here's the problem.
Hold on.
As a borough resident,
Dennis,
I'm living underneath
Dennis,
the rule.
I
Go
appreciate
ahead.
it, but
Finish your
remember-
thought. Go ahead.
Remember, we represent them. They are the township folks. Now, we have a great relationship with the borough. We love the residents of the borough for a lot of different reasons, not only because we work hand in hand on a lot of things, but our police, give them protection. Folks share the pool and the park and whatnot. At the same time, you would probably be one of the only people who's ever gotten up to that podium who is outside of this township and been given at least a moment or two to speak. And I'm giving you the due respect because you clearly have a lot of passion, but I'm going to need you to get to your point, and then we're going to go on with our meeting. I can't allow anyone in this country, this is for township residents, I can't allow anyone to just wander in and say, hey, I want to speak.
The longer, I'm going to make my point, and then I'm going to leave.
Okay.
All right? I'm ignorant of the fact that I'm not allowed to speak here. That's news to me because I assumed, since you're passing rules and regulations that directly affect my life, and my tax dollars, indirectly or not, went to pay for that facility, I assumed I had the right to stand here and talk. I stand corrected. I'll appreciate a few minutes of your time, though.
Sure.
Because I've been paying for that thing for years. Now you're going to tell me I can't stand here and squawk when,
No, I'm letting you, so go right ahead.
well, then why bring up the point?
You go right ahead. Make your point.
Thousands of dollars, many hours in that park. I had no idea I was,
Dennis,
Again, I
Dennis,
didn't
you're
know that.
you're 4 minutes in. You have one more minute. You might want to get to your point. Please.
I stood here last year and made some points that I thought were pertinent that would have you open the pool. I could only see 3 obstacles: legal obstacles, health obstacles, and what? Political obstacles. All right? Health obstacles, I think everybody here, well, maybe you don't, but nobody's getting sick. Same as last year. It's propaganda. Second was the legal. I says, why don't you put a disclaimer up and open the pool? Your solicitor had no faith in her legal abilities to defend Hatfield Township against an act of God. And she asked me if I did. Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so what do we got this year? Voluntarily assume all risks related to exposure to COVID-19. They should have done that last year and opened the pool. What I want to know is who's pushing the agenda and why are we being punished? All right? Due to social distancing and space, the hydrotherapy pool is not open for use. Now, before I even ask the common sense of making me go swim in the kiddie pool, instead of the pool that I sit in all the time, who's the solicitor? Sir, can you tell me which amendment in the Bill of the Rights covers right of assembly?
Sir, you have the right to public comment, not public debate. You're not even a township resident. By the grace of the president, he's giving you the opportunity to speak. I'm not here to have a legal discussion on
Know
what
the
you're allowed
answer
to
or
do.
not. I'm asking a simple question that any lawyer
got-
should
you got
know.
one-
Do you know which amendment is covered under freedom of assembly?
30 seconds.
Dennis, I am desperately trying to have this conclude.
Then have the man
in a
answer
fa-
my
in a-
question.
In a fair and professional
It's
manner.
the First Amendment, freedom of assembly. I do not understand how you people just shred the Constitution and prevent us from sitting next to who we want to in that pool. You're saving my life? You're saving lives. You're saving lives. Almost. And it was 2. I got 2 more.
More points? I'm going to give you the opportunity to say 1
Furniture.
and 2.
And then what? Who what?
I'm going to give you the opportunity to say first point, second point.
Okay. Furniture. Picnic tables are available. Lounge chairs are not available. The chairs we paid for, lovely. All right. May 20th, 2020, CDC, no surface spread for COVID. There's no surface spread for COVID. What is your reasoning for not letting us use the chairs? Let me ask 2 questions, I'll go. Who put these points together?
There's 1. Give me the second one.
Put the points together
Good. You asked me the 1. Give me the second question.
first.
No?
Listen, I'm not leaving this podium until I get my pound of flesh because you hit us hard last year and you're doing it again. And this is what's happening.
Dennis, you're taking this in the wrong direction.
No, you people are not seeing what's going on around
We are
here.
listening to you with the utmost respect.
Okay.
We are
Then tell me
literally
where I'm
giving
wrong.
you something
Tell
that
me
no
where
other
I'm wrong.
township would give you. I'm asking you to give your points. It's public comment, not public debate.
I asked a question.
Then I'm going to ask you to either put on a mask or leave.
If the CDC says there's no surface spread, why can't we use chairs? So then my next, who put these together? And this is, I'll leave on this note. All right, I'm aggravating you, which was my point. Because you
I know.
completely and thoroughly upset me last year. Because I live for that thing. I'm retired. I have nothing else better to do. Why don't you give me a show of hands? Who wants to see the flower of our youth in America standing by that pool with a mask on? Social distancing. Are you serious? Guys, you guys are nuts. Good, I'll leave.
Good.
Let me ask one. I heard one rumor. Maybe you can speak to this. And
I'm not speaking to anything.
I keep
I'm just
hearing a
saying, you said you were
rumor
leaving?
that the
Good.
Montgomery County Commissioner Arcouche is trying to change the name of the Hatfield Aquatic Center to the Joseph A. Stalin Recreation and Re-Education Camp. Is that true?
Dennis, we really appreciate your coming in, and have a great night.
Have you heard that one?
Go
Have
on.
you?
Have a great night.
I started that rumor.
All right,
Let's go.
we're gonna move on. to
I
the
say
consent
no
items. I
to the
have not heard
Joseph
that
A.
one.
Stalin
That's a good one.
Recreation and Re-Education Center.
That's a good one.
Listen.
All right, we're gonna
you're
move on
off.
to our consent items. We are.
If you know your country's under attack, yet you continue to push the enemy's
All right,
program, what is the definition of that?
appreciate it. Okay, there
Right?
are
You're
three
pushing
there are
an
three
agenda
consent
that's
items.
designed to hurt the people.
Dennis,
And I'm
you are
trying to get
you
to
are
pop.
so close to having to be removed.
If you could speak, you cannot disrupt.
So we're gonna move on.
Interrupt
AB, we're good.
Then,
Aaron, we're good.
then, I thank you all very much, and I just asked you to think, that's all.
Okay, we appreciate it. Thank you,
thank
Dennis.
you.
Appreciate it. All right, so let's move on. Consent items. Is there a motion to move the consent items into the record? So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Andrews, second by Commissioner Lees. The consent items are the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting minutes of March 24th, 2021, the Treasurer's report, month of April, bills payable, paid bills in the amount of $10,769.14, and unpaid bills in the amount of $656,888.45. With that, I will call the question. All in favor of moving those items into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. All right. Dare I say citizens' comment?
Hold on, they're bringing it back in right now.
All right, we have 6 action items that have gone through our workshop meeting. They are up here for action. The first one is the Bexley WB Homes Land Development. Is there a motion for approval of Resolution 21-09? Motion by Commissioner Andrews.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lees. All right, questions or comments? Ken, if you want to, I know we've had numerous meetings about this over the last few months.
We've discussed this at length at 2 workshop meetings and several planning and zoning meetings. I think at this point, the board has a pretty clear understanding of what's being proposed tonight. We do have a signed resolution that was delivered to the township this afternoon, so we do have the applicant's agreement to all of the requirements in the resolution, which was prepared by the solicitor's office.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 21-09, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Aaron, if I heard right, I think it was 3-2. That vote was 3-2.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on to action item number 2, Resolution 21-10. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the Little Round Land Development discussion? Discussion? Yeah, a motion by Commissioner Andrews.
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. I'm not sure who has this. Ken, do you have this
Yeah.
one as well?
Well, similarly, this application was discussed at our last workshop meeting. This is a project that went through the entire approval process last year, and it went through as a preliminary final plan, but because they had only requested preliminary approval, the resolution that was passed last year was for preliminary approval. They're now coming back through really just to add the word final to the same resolution
Right.
that was previously passed. All the same conditions are in place. Everything that was agreed to by the applicant at the time is still in place. And again, we have a signed resolution in front of us from the applicant.
Hence the word discussion in the. All right. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 21-10, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. All right, action item number 3, Resolution 21-11. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the Clow-Menzer subdivision?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Rogers, second by Commissioner Andrus. Ken, you're up to bat a lot tonight.
Yes, so this is a fairly easy one. This is it's sort of a complex with a simple result. It's about 6 different parcels that were owned by 2 property owners along Line Street near the Brookside Manor Apartments. The subdivision results in recombining all of those lots and then re-subdividing them into 3 lots, 2 which contain the existing homes of the Davises and the Klaumenzers, and then 1 which will be a new building lot. So it cleans up a lot of awkward parcels along Line Street. It was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission almost 3 years ago, but there were some issues to work out with the applicant. It's an individual property owner doing the work himself, so it took a little time for us to work through it. We're finally there. He's agreed to everything that the township had asked for. It's been discussed by the Planning and Zoning Committee, and we discussed it at the workshop last time. So this is, and again, we have a signed resolution in
All right. Questions or comments? All right, if not, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 21-11, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Action item number 4. Is there a motion for approval with regard to payment number 10 for Cowpath and Orvilla realignment project in the amount of $57,764.62?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lees.
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. Aaron, I'm assuming this isn't final payment, is it?
No, it's not, Mr. President, but getting close. As Commissioner Lees mentioned 2 weeks ago, project is if anyone has driven that corridor, please.
Just this afternoon, it looks
Same
great.
here.
Don't kill the messenger. But
Paved.
it was quite an inconvenience yesterday and today, and we heard all about it. But when you're paving an intersection that sees 30,000 cars a day, it's never a good time to do it. But final pave was happening today. I think they have a little more work to do tomorrow, but it's getting very close. It's looking really good. So this is not the final, but very close, maybe 1 or 2 more payments. It's looking like the project we envisioned it to be, so hopefully in the next few days it'll be done and open.
All right.
I just drove there coming to the meeting tonight. All paved, needs some striping, but it really, really looks nice.
Yeah.
Graded and the retention basin looks good, so.
Yep.
I know it's been a long process.
Yep.
But the end result will be fantastic.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of the approval for payment number 10, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Item number 5, Resolution 21-12. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the requested amendment to the current legislation for fireworks regulation?
Moved.
By Commissioner Andrews. Second by Commissioner Zimmerman. Aaron, I think this one's in your hands, and
Sure.
maybe even our solicitor.
Yeah, Mr. President, sure. Just briefly, to summarize our lengthier discussion 2 weeks ago, resolution was drafted, not artfully, but it was drafted, and that's not John, I'm making fun of myself.
All right, my constitutional law is not sharp and my records.
Just-
I was feeling pretty good at this meeting before I got here.
So it was drafted to reflect our discussion from 2 weeks ago and some feedback that we received in the meantime from some residents. It's simply saying that the commissioners here of Hatfield support House Bill 988 that would repeal Act 43 from 2017, which opens up the consumer fireworks as we discussed in 2 weeks, and then it also then alternatively would advocate for any future legislation that would give local governments the ability to regulate and control fireworks. So again, this is just advocacy. We have no ability to actually change the law, but we can pass along a resolution if the board so wishes to support current and future legislation.
All right, questions or comments? Now I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 21-12, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Aaron, that is a 4-1 vote.
Good, thank you.
All right, action item number 6, last one. Is there a motion for approval for the property assessment appeal settlement for the, for 2514 Anthony Drive?
I can take this one. This is a
Hold
text.
on, let me do the, let me get the motion, right? Is there a motion for this?
I think he's a lot of
Positive or
practice.
negative?
It's, is there a motion, Mr. President?
It's what?
Was there a motion?
Not yet, is
Not
it?
yet.
He doesn't want to reveal to us whether it's a positive or a negative. All right, the chair will make a motion because no one else seems to be focused on
I'll
making a
second
motion. Would someone please second this motion?
I'll second.
Vice President Rogers is seconded. Now, Mr. Solicitor, after you complete your constitutional law homework, if you would walk us through
I
this
would
item.
say it's a negative, but I think it's a positive in the end. It's
Classic lawyer's answer.
Yeah, classic lawyer's answer.
When in doubt, Charlie out.
Yes. This is a tax assessment appeal stipulation that resolves a 4-year tax assessment. Basically takes the assessment from 35 to 308, and the property has significant water problems, and I think it gives the homeowner relief, tax relief that's needed, and it's minimus really to the township. So we're recommending that that assessment stipulation get approved.
It's already been approved through the school district?
School district, the county, we're waiting for the township's approval, and then it becomes an order of court, and the property owner will get the relief that.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what we're doing here, essentially from time to time there is a reassessment done on properties. We like to, that's why we said it was a positive or negative, because we always hope that it's positive in the sense that, I hate to put it this way, but if there's a little bit more income that comes into the township. It's a negative, which means that there's going to be less. The process, and you can correct me, Mr. Solicitor, is we're really last on the rung of entities, public entities that would approve this. School boards approved it. Who else approves it?
Yeah, so there's 3 taxing agencies, the county, the school
Right,
district,
right.
and the township. And by law, any property owner can challenge their assessment once a year by August 1st. And once they challenge it and it gets appealed to court, that's where this matter was. The school district, hearing the evidence, thought this was a favorable resolution. Really, the amount of taxes, really de minimis, so.
I just want everyone to know what you were.
I think Aaron can add some clarity to this. This
I
is
would like to.
Help.
Yeah, Commissioner, if you don't mind, I'd like to clarify, just because we usually don't see residential properties come through for assessment appeals. This was a property that the commissioners will remember, and it's important that the public knows. Tropical Storm Isaias did some significant damage to this property to the point where this resident wasn't even able to live in that house for a few months. And thanks to the commissioners actually for helping to coordinate short-term housing at no cost to this resident. So it was that event and some other flooding prior to that was the motivation behind the appeal. And because of the damage, because of the location, we've actually worked with this property owner for a while now to secure funding to purchase the property with a potential to demo it to prevent future losses. But unfortunately for this property owner, the house, although in the floodplain, isn't deep enough in the floodplain to where PEMA and FEMA would supply funding for it. So good news that her appeal was successful and she gets to pay less in property taxes. But the bad news is that there's a good chance she'll be flooded again, and it's very unfortunate to see. But she was very grateful for the commissioner's help last August, September, in securing that housing. Meant a lot to her, so we appreciate it.
All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that, approving the property assessment for 2514 Anthony Drive, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. All right, citizens' comments. Not many folks left. All right, so minus our excitement at the beginning, it wasn't so much the most exciting meeting, but we want to thank everybody for coming out. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrews, second by Commissioner Lees. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.